In the heart of Accra, Ghana, Abigail Mensah, a 38-year-old tech mogul, once ruled her world like a queen. Her software company, TechWave, had transformed the city's digital landscape, earning her millions. She owned a sprawling mansion in East Legon, a fleet of sleek cars, and a wardrobe that rivaled fashion runways. Her husband, Kwame, was a charming former model, known for his sharp suits and silver tongue. Their marriage had been the talk of the town, until a tragic accident changed everything. One rainy evening, Abigail's car hydroplaned on the Accra motorway while returning from a conference. She survived, but her spinal cord was severely injured. The doctor's words echoed in her ears, "You're paralyzed from the waist down." Kwame at first was the picture of devotion, holding her hand in the hospital, promising to stand by her. But as weeks turned into months, his warmth faded. He began staying out late, flashing his charm at exclusive clubs and ignoring Abigail's pleas for attention. "I'm not your caregiver, Abby," he snapped one night. "I married a CEO, not a patient." Desperate and unable to manage alone, Abigail placed an advert for a live-in house help to assist with cooking, cleaning, and personal care. That's when Kofi entered their lives. Kofi Agyeman, a 24-year-old orphan, arrived at the mansion with a worn duffel bag and a heart heavy with hope. Raised in foster homes across Kumasi, he had endured neglect and hardship, moving from one family to another. Despite his pain, Kofi clung to his optimism and a quiet faith that life could be kind. The job offer was a lifeline, a chance to work, eat, and escape the cycle of suffering. He stood at the mansion's towering gates, awestruck by its grandeur. A fountain sparkled in the courtyard, and the glass-fronted house gleamed like a palace. A stern security guard led Kofi inside, where marble floors and crystal chandeliers screamed wealth. But the air felt heavy, as if the house mourned its own emptiness. "Don't speak unless spoken to," the guard warned before opening the door to Abigail's room. Abigail sat in a wheelchair, her once commanding presence softened by fatigue. Her dark eyes, though tired, held a spark of resilience. Kofi bowed slightly. "Good afternoon, madam." "Leave us," Abigail said to the guard. Alone, she studied Kofi. "You don't look like a nurse." "I'm not, madam," Kofi replied softly. "I'm here to cook, clean, and help however I can." "Are you scared of me?" she asked, her voice sharp but curious. Kofi met her gaze. "No, madam. I've seen pain before. You're not frightening." Abigail's lips twitched, almost a smile. "You're bold. What's your name?" "Kofi." "You'll stay in the back room, keep the house spotless, serve meals on time, and don't touch what doesn't concern you. My husband may give you orders. Obey them." Kofi nodded, sensing a strain in her voice when she mentioned her husband. He left the room, settling into a small but tidy quarters behind the mansion. That evening, as he prepared jollof rice and grilled fish, he caught sight of Kwame lounging in the living room, scrolling through his phone, dressed in a tailored suit. Kwame glanced at Kofi with disdain. "You're the new help? Don't get in my way, boy, and make sure my shirts are ironed daily." "Yes, sir," Kofi replied, swallowing the sting of Kwame's tone. Kofi's days fell into a rhythm, cleaning the mansion, cooking flavorful Ghanaian dishes, and assisting Abigail with small tasks. He noticed Kwame's absences growing longer. One morning at 5 a.m., Kofi was mopping the hallway when Kwame stumbled in, reeking of whiskey, his shirt untucked. A woman's perfume clung to him. He didn't notice Kofi, but his careless laughter echoed through the house. Abigail, confined to her wheelchair, sensed the change. She called Kofi to her room one morning. "You're up early," she said, her voice softer than usual. "I like to start before the day wakes," Kofi replied, adjusting her blanket. She looked at him thoughtfully. "Would you wheel me to the garden? I haven't felt the sun in months." Kofi hesitated, then nodded. He helped her into a shawl and pushed her wheelchair to the backyard, where hibiscus flowers bloomed and the morning air was crisp. Abigail closed her eyes, breathing deeply. "I forgot what fresh air feels like." "You've been indoors too long, madam," Kofi said gently. "Even flowers need light to thrive." They talked for an hour about music, markets, and dreams. Kofi shared how he taught himself to read using old newspapers. Abigail, for the first time in months, laughed, but their moment was shattered when Kwame's voice boomed from the patio. "What's this, a tea party?" Kofi stood. "We're just getting some air, sir." Kwame sneered at Abigail. "You didn't ask my permission to play outside, Abby, or do you think you're still running the show?" Abigail's jaw tightened. "I don't need your permission to breathe, Kwame." He laughed coldly. "Keep dreaming, cripple." Turning to Kofi, he snapped, "Get her inside, now." That night, Kofi overheard a heated argument. "Where were you last night?" Abigail demanded. "Out," Kwame retorted. "I'm not chained to this house like you. You're my husband." "A husband to what? A woman who can't even stand." "I didn't sign up for this, Abby. I'm still young and you're holding me back." Kofi's heart sank as he retreated to the kitchen. The pain in Abigail's voice lingered in his mind. One afternoon, Kwame handed Kofi a silk shirt to take to the dry cleaners. On his way back, Kofi stopped at a pharmacy in Osu to buy bandages for a cut. Two women nearby gossiped loudly. "Saw Kwame Asari at Club Onyx again," one said. "With that lady, Adwoa, the one with the braids. Can you believe he's married to Abigail Mensah?" Kofi froze. The rumors confirmed his suspicions. Back at the mansion, he served Abigail's lunch. She barely ate. "Madam, is something wrong?" he asked. "My heart's heavy, Kofi," she whispered, "but you wouldn't understand." "You'd be surprised," he said gently. "I've lost things too, but every day is a chance to rebuild." Abigail looked at him, her eyes softening. "You're wise for someone so young." That evening, Kwame called Kofi to the living room. "Sit," he said, his tone deceptively kind. Kofi sat cautiously. "You want to better yourself, don't you? Maybe go to school?" Kofi nodded slowly. "Yes, sir. I've always wanted to study." Kwame leaned forward, smiling. "I can send you to a tech institute in London. Full scholarship. How does that sound?" Kofi's eyes widened. "That's generous, sir. But why?" Kwame's smile faded. He pulled out a small vial of clear liquid from his pocket and placed it in Kofi's hand. "Put this in Abigail's tea. It'll help her sleep better." Kofi stared at the vial. "Why not give it to her yourself, sir?" Kwame's voice turned sharp. "Don't ask stupid questions. Do it or forget London. And if you tell her, you're finished." Kofi's hands shook as he returned to his room. He hid the vial in his bag and knelt by his bed. "God, guide me," he prayed. "I can't hurt her, but I'm afraid." The next morning, Kofi acted normal, serving breakfast as usual. Abigail noticed his unease. "Kofi, you're quiet today," she said. He hesitated, then asked, "Can we go to the garden again?" In the quiet of the garden, Kofi took a deep breath. "Madam, I need to tell you something, but I'm scared." Abigail squeezed his hand. "You're safe with me, Kofi." He handed her the vial, still sealed. "Kwame gave me this. Said it's for your tea to help you sleep. But he got angry when I asked questions. He threatened me." Abigail's face hardened. She opened her phone and accessed the mansion's CCTV app, a remnant of her tech-savvy days. Footage showed Kwame meeting a woman, Adwoa, at a hotel. Her hands trembled. "Thank you, Kofi. You've done the right thing." She sent the vial to a lab through her trusted assistant. The results came back that evening. The liquid was a sedative, potentially lethal in high doses. Abigail's heart sank, but her resolve hardened. She called her lawyer, a sharp woman named Ifua. "Prepare divorce papers," she instructed, "and change my will. Kwame gets nothing." The next day, Kwame strutted into the dining room, unaware of the storm brewing. Abigail wheeled herself forward, her lawyer and a private investigator at her side. "Sit, Kwame," she said coldly. He frowned. "What's this about?" The investigator laid out photos of Kwame with Adwoa, bank records showing he'd siphoned funds from Abigail's accounts, and the lab report on the vial. "This isn't medicine," the investigator said. "It's poison." Kwame's face paled. "That's nonsense. Kofi's lying." Abigail's voice was steel. "I trusted you, Kwame. I gave you everything. You tried to destroy me." He stammered. "Abi, I was weak. I made mistakes. Please, let's fix this." Afua slid divorce papers across the table. "Sign them. You have 24 hours to leave." Kwame lunged toward Abigail, but Kofi stepped in front. don't, he said firmly. Kwame laughed bitterly and stormed out. Days later, Kwame met Adwoa at a rented apartment in cantonments, funded by Abigail's money. They humiliated me, he fumed. That house help ruined everything. Adwoa's eyes gleamed. Then let's end it. Both of them. That night, 2 men in dark hoods approached the mansion's back gate, armed with knives. Inside, Kofi heard a rustling outside the kitchen. His instincts kicked in. He rushed to Abigail's room. "Madam, someone's outside." Abigail checked the CCTV. 2 figures scaling the wall. She hit the alarm, alerting her security team. Within minutes, guards apprehended the intruders. One confessed, "Kwame Asare hired us." In an Accra courtroom, Kwame and Adwoa faced charges of conspiracy and attempted murder. The judge sentenced Kwame to 15 years and Adwoa to 12. Abigail watched from her wheelchair, Kofi by her side, her heart heavy but free. Weeks later, the mansion felt alive again. Abigail, inspired by Kofi's kindness, began physical therapy, regaining small movements. One evening, in the garden, she handed Kofi an envelope. "This is a scholarship to the University of Ghana. You deserve it." Kofi's eyes welled up. "Madam, I don't know what to say." "Say you'll keep being you," she replied, "and call me Abigail." As they sat under the stars, Abigail smiled. "You gave me back my strength, Kofi. Not just my body, my soul." Kofi blushed. "You're stronger than you know, Abigail." Months later, Abigail launched a foundation to support orphans, with Kofi as its first ambassador. The mansion, once cold, was filled with laughter and purpose. Abigail never walked again, but she soared in ways that mattered more. Kofi, no longer just a house help, became her partner in healing, proving that love and truth could triumph over betrayal. This is where our story ends. What lessons did this tale teach you? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed it, like the video, subscribe, and stay around to watch another one of our great and inspiring African folktale video tales.